All right, everybody, welcome to the In the Pink team call. We do this every Tuesday night. If you're on this call, that means you're somewhere on my team. You're also very likely a part of another team. So it's this team, the In the Pink team, was started back in January of 2014. And so we're right at about 1,500 members. Of course, not all of those active, unfortunately, but still. So we are a good, strong team. We've got a wonderful upline. My sponsor is Celeste Gwynn, who's a double diamond. So we have really, really great resources, and therefore we can, have had access to really great trainings and guest speakers. And Celeste comes here once a month and does trainings for us. So if you're here, you're in a really good spot. You're on an awesome team in Plexus, and Plexus, you guys know, is kind of growing by leaps and bounds and just having amazing growth. So you're in a good spot. Just want to make sure y'all kind of reaffirm that. Let's see. We are coming up on the end of the month, and in the Plexus world, that's always a very exciting time because, as you guys know, we earn pay points, which accumulate throughout the month. So you start at the beginning of the month with 0 points, and as your people on your team reach $100 in PV, you earn points for them. At the end of the month, your points are totaled up, and you get paid on those points. So I'm actually kind of giving you all a good compensation overview here. But I think it's important to know, and just kind of every time you hear it, you might understand it. So even if you're just getting started and you don't really have a team yet, you will, and then you can look forward to the end of the month being a really big time. So if you are a team leader and you do have a team, even if you have one person, if you have one or you have 50 people on your team, the end of the month is important because we want to be really understanding our back office, looking at your back office, understanding who's on your team, looking to see if somebody's close to $100 PV, and then encouraging them to get to their $100 PV. You also want to be paying attention to people who are close to $500 in PV, because as you know, if you're under $500, you get a 15% commission on your personal volume. Once you hit that 500 mark, you get paid 25% commission. So you want to know your people in your back office. So if someone's at $475 on October the 31st, you want to let them know and just say, hey, if you placed it, if you just buy a probiotic, you'll reach 500, and it makes a big difference. So that's being really managing your back office at the end of the month is important. We are business owners, and so we want to always kind of have that executive mindset that we understand our business. The back office is there to run reports, just like as business owners. At the end of the month, they run profit and loss statements, and they know the state of their business. So anyway, we want to train ourselves to be like that as well. If that is something that you struggle with or you have a question about, feel free to reach out to me. We can always jump on Zoom. I do this a lot with people, and we can pull up your back office and we can kind of go through the reports, and I can give you tips and kind of show you some shortcuts. I'm not an expert, but I've been doing it for a little while and try to at least know the basics. I can share the basics with you. So let's see, end of the month is good. Okay, so also October, you guys know, is double bonus month. That's huge. It's the biggest promotion I've ever seen Plexus do, by far, hands down, in 2.5 years. So what that means is right now, anybody that ranks this month, you're going to get a double bonus. I know for a fact that we've had 2 silver ranks so far. I could be missing others. I try to keep track, but sometimes I miss them. So Tracy Jacobson, and then also Kimberly Hogg had somebody who ranked today, and I need to look it up. So if she's on this call, please raise your hand and speak up because I want to say congratulations. So that means instead of earning $100, like a normal silver bonus, they're actually going to earn $200, plus, of course, the building bonuses. So that's exciting. If you're not silver yet, you still have an entire week. Silver means you've got 3 active people on your team. 3 active. That means they've got to have, when you go silver, they've got to have that backup order turned on. And if they're new in October, then you don't have to worry about the $100 PV. But if they joined outside of October, like in the summer or September, they would need to reach their $100 PV for you to get that bonus and to actually rank to silver. So I hope that answers any questions anybody has. In addition to that, anybody that maybe went backwards, maybe you were silver and you lost your silver rank, meaning not all 3 people stayed active. Plexus is giving us the opportunity to regain our rank and earn the bonus again, which is huge. So if you ever were gold and maybe slipped backwards in points last month, that's okay, because you can rank to gold this month and you'll actually earn $500, which is pretty amazing because no, that's wrong. You re-get your $250 bonus if you went backwards and you lost strength. But if you hit it for the first time, you get $500. All right, so that's really awesome. So that is our October double bonus month. Let's see. Looking at a few dates in November, and I will verify all of those and make graphics, but you can kind of save the date, or it's just penciling in right now. I've got to do some confirmations, but I'm going to have basically a new ambassador training. I mean, it'll even be an ambassador training with a focus on new stuff, but also maybe a little more advanced stuff on Sunday, November, wait a minute, let me make sure I get this right. November the 13th. I'm going to do it in downtown Norfolk. So that's kind of centrally located for everybody that's in the Hampton Roads area. It'll be from like 2 to 5, so after church in the afternoon. So we'll have a good 3 hours to really dig in and get some good training in. And then let's see, maybe looking at another opportunity, a big opportunity event in November. So I've got to get with Missy. We like to have those at the Holiday Inn off of Greenwich Road in Virginia Beach, Norfolk area. So we'll let you guys know about that. So we try to do those sort of every quarterly. So we have a really nice big one that you can bring your guests to, and we'll have guest speakers and a nice PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so that was my announcements. I think I got everything. If anybody has anything that I missed, if you've got events coming up, I know Samantha said in North Carolina, Goldsboro, they have an event coming up on November the 5th. Samantha's also doing a great job right now with the 7-day challenge. So that's going really well. So we've got some cool stuff going on there. And if I missed anything or any events, please post them in the chats, because we like to open it up to the team. Even if you're doing a launch party or a sip and see or an event, of course you want guests to be there, of course, but it's kind of nice to have ambassadors there too, and have some of your teammates and your sidelines there to support. It just it makes it more fun in the numbers. So it's nice if you have an event to include the teams, and you just let us know. I mean, our team page is your team page, so please use it for all of those purposes. Okay, so what I wanted to do tonight, I've been doing sort of a series of guest speakers on what does it take to be successful, and I've been inviting diamonds and some sapphires and some emeralds, some people that reach the jewel level, which has been really awesome. I know that we've all really appreciated their advice and things that they've shared. But tonight I thought it would be fun to let some people on our team kind of share what they've been doing and what they've been doing in their activity and their income producing activities, what kind of results they've yielded. Now, the people that I've chosen to share tonight are all involved in our Tough Love to Maui challenge. We started it back in September. It was a group of people that came and said, yes, I'm all in. Teach me how to get there. I'll do what you say. I'm teachable. I'm really willing to work hard. And so it's a really great group, and it's always open. So if you're brand new and you're feeling that you really want to be a part of something that is really pushing you out of your comfort zone and kind of taking your business to the next level, there's always room for more for that group. So these people are in that group. They have continued to show me dedication. They have shown me hard work. They have shown me that they are coachable and teachable. And that's really exciting. So these are maybe people that have never necessarily shared before. So I'm just excited because I know that they are going to have a really, really bright future. And I know that they've implemented a lot of the things that they've learned in the last couple of months. I've watched them implement these things and really get into action mode, and there's been fruit. And so they're going to share. So the first person I'm going to introduce is Miss Leslie Webb. And so you just unmute yourself, and all those things I just said, I'm not going to repeat them because she has shown me all of those things. So Leslie, I'm going to let you kind of speak, introduce yourself, you can share a little bit about your testimony, and then I might ask you some questions as you're talking. So
okay. Can you hear me okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Leslie Webb. I joined Plexus back in January with my mom, and honestly, I joined so I could go to Vegas. That was truly the main reason that I joined. I didn't really know much. My mom had just joined. I didn't know anything about the products really other than what she had seen from people sharing on Facebook, and all I really cared about was let's go to Vegas. So my mom and I went to Vegas back in June, and we were pretty much blown away by just all the testimonies and just how great the company is and how it really works. And it's not just another, network marketing thing where, you're not really going to go anywhere. But I still didn't really do much with my business. I would reach out to a couple of people and I'd get really discouraged when people wouldn't show interest. But when Dawn started the Tough Love campaign thing, I was like, okay, I'll commit. I'll jump in. So I started actually following almost every jewel I had heard speak at convention. And I followed their pages, and I pretty much share a lot of what they post on Facebook. And I joined their weekly calls on YouTube. And I take at least 1 hour every day, and I try Monday evenings most week I usually spend 3 to 5 hours and just listen to different team calls and take a ton of notes. And I committed myself to reaching out to at least 5 to 10 people. And I've reached out to at some points 25 to 30 people in one day. And I'm happy to say that by doing that, I got my first ambassador. I believe it was last week. So I'm really pushing to go silver by the end of this month to get that double bonus. But I follow Bob Helig on Facebook now since Dawn posted a couple of his videos. And I've been applying the 3 phrases that he was talking about. So when I send out cold call messages, I say, this may or may not be for you, but I'd like to share. Would you be open to, discussing or trying a pink drink or whatever? And then, say, if I were to send you, a sample, would you be interested in trying it? And then the other piece that he really said was just keep it open for the person rather than you trying to schedule something with them. Let them make the decision in what they want to do as far as meeting. And that's really opened up a lot of doors for me. I've talked to several people about the products, and I'm hoping in the next few days to hopefully get my first customers. I don't really have any at this point, but I will. And my dream is pretty ambitious, but I want to be Emerald by Christmas. And I know that that's a very big stretch, but I told Dawn with God, anything is possible. So I'm just really praying that God would put people in my path that want this product, that need this product. And I actually spoke to 5 different people over the weekend in person. My mom and I went to a stamping, scrapbooking kind of event at Hampton Convention Center. And I just started sharing with people and gave them my business card. And I'm really hoping that, I can continue to push and grow because I like to talk to people, but it really kind of freaks me out to do something like this. But, the one thing that I keep hearing consistently is do something that scares you. And this scares me. So I just figure if I continue to push and move out of my comfort zone, then I'll be able to grow my business. So.
How wonderful. Yes. And like I said, I've seen great things from you, Leslie, and very, very teachable. I love your teachable spirit. So
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay, the next person on our team that I want to introduce is Miss Samantha Godwin. And you may have seen Samantha's name because she's very active on our team page, and she runs our Selling Day challenges, and she recently hosted an event. But I have really seen Samantha sort of blossom in the last few months and really start to really hit the ground running and do some really great things. And so I've loved watching her grow, and so I can't wait for Samantha to share some of the things that maybe some things she's done differently in the last few months to really make her business grow.
Hi everybody, I'm Samantha, and let's see, where do I start here? Okay, so the Tough Love to Maui challenge, when we first started it, Dawn gave us this really big challenge, and it may not seem that big, but it was reach out to 10 cold contacts, 10 cold messages a day, and send them to her. And what we wrote in there, and I have to be completely honest here, my first thought was, holy cow, Dawn, how am I going to do this? But then my second thought was, suck it up, Buttercup, because I committed to myself, I committed to Dawn, and I committed to my team as their leader to do this. So I went with it, and sending Dawn my contacts, my follow-ups, my everything, and getting the feedback from her on, that's great, this is where I want you to take it to the next level. That has been a huge, huge help for me. And in just doing this whole cold contact, I thought I was doing it before, but not like this. I have gotten a new ambassador, a new customer, a 7-day challenger that will probably turn into a customer, I hope, just from the cold contacts, from doing this challenge. And it's really just, I had the passion before and I had the fire before, but the way Dawn is able to kind of push you a little bit further is just amazing to me, and I really love it, because that's what I need. I mean, I don't think I can be offended by a whole lot or upset by a whole lot. So I like the whole, okay, that's great, but I want you to take it to this level. So that's kind of where I'm at with what I'm doing with this, and it really has opened me up to, okay, let's do an opportunity event. Let's do a Facebook Live Zoom event. Let's do this. Let's do that. Just really wanting to get out there and share it with people. And the responses coming back has really been overwhelming. So I love the challenge. I think Dawn and everybody in it, they're doing amazing. And that's
great. You've really just, Samantha's been so good too. She has followed the rules. She has, every time I've said, send me your contacts, you do it. So you're very, very engaged. So awesome job, Sam. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
All right. The next person I want to introduce is Miss Linda Whitaker. Linda, are you here? I haven't seen you yet. There she is. So you just have to unmute.
Here.
Okay, so let me just give a quick intro to Miss Linda. Miss Linda is in North Carolina, and her husband has an amazing testimony. He's got a great health testimony, and kind of like Samantha also, Linda has always had a lot of potential and really been committed to her business. But within, I would say, the last few months, I've seen a switch and a change, and really watching her open up and blossom, and the same thing, just stepping out of her comfort zone and starting to see the fruit of that. So I'll let you share a little bit more about that, Linda.
Well, I have to echo what Samantha said. The challenges have really caused us to stretch, and that whole 10 cold calls a day and sending them in really held us accountable to our fears. And I tell you what, when I first started those, it took me all day to get the 10 in, because I would meditate over, okay, what name am I going to do next? And by the end of the week, it was just, what's the next one on the list? I just didn't even think about it. And what that allowed me to do is to develop a potentials list like I have never had before. So, and even a few of them came back no's. Most of them came back crickets, but I still look at those as successes, because they're like conversations that have already been started. And when you're speaking with someone and they're listening, they're not talking. So I think about the crickets as the fact that they're listening and they just haven't heard enough to warrant a response yet. So that's how I kind of think about it. And it's not nearly as daunting thinking about it that way. And because these conversations are in progress, I'm excited to think of creative ways to make my next statement. You know, my next statement is tomorrow, or my next statement is next week, when it happens. I always look back at what I said before and I connect it so that it's just a continuing conversation. So I have momentum where I didn't have it before. And that gives me a lot of confidence that I didn't have before. So another benefit is that my drop-offs have slowed way down. So I feel like I've stabilized, and because I have these potentials in the works, I feel like my business is going to, I'm poised to actually begin growing. And this is these are the seeds, and I'm watching them spread. Just have to get them to where I can start harvesting. And as far as all the challenges are concerned, they're scary. Whenever they come across the feed and I read them, my heart rate goes up a little bit. And but we're all in it together. Everybody's commenting together. Everybody's rooting each other on. That's what this tough love is about, that we're all in this together, going through the same scary stuff at the same time. And we get through it. And then suddenly I feel braver. And I guess the big takeaway is I realize that scary isn't fatal. So,
yeah.
So yeah, that's probably in a nutshell what I have, what I've gotten out of the last few weeks. And
now, do you think that Facebook Live was one of the scariest things you've ever done?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So what we did is we had everybody send out, and we sent out personal messages asking prospects to watch a video, and if they did that, we put their name in a drawing, and then the challenge was to go on live Facebook, which is, if you've never done it, it's actually pretty fun and it's really easy. You just click live and then it does a countdown, and there you are, and you're talking to your people and they're commenting. So everybody did the Facebook Live, and Linda did a great job. It was really good. And I know that kind of stuff, if you've never done it before, does, but I would challenge everybody on the call to go for it. And it doesn't have to be about Plexus. I mean, do your Facebook Live about, I don't know, anything. Make you carbon your pumpkins or whatever. People love it. People love reality TV. It's like the biggest thing in the last decade. And social media is a part of that. So the more you put yourself out there and let people in on your life and bring them in what you're doing, and maybe you don't even realize what you're doing, but you're building trust. Your audience will continue to trust you the more that you put yourself out there. And it's not always about Plexus. Many times it's about your kids, your dog, your vacation, whatever it was. And always put your authentic self in it. So, and I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, Linda, but I just, is there anything else that you wanted to share? That was great. That was really great.
No, that pretty much covered.
Yeah, you're doing awesome. I'm so proud of you, Linda.
Thanks.
All right. And I think my last person I think this was my last person. If not, if I had somebody else tell me, but I have Miss Teresa Lee ready to share.
Yes.
Love Miss Teresa. She's got wonderful energy and excitement, and she's fun, and she's pretty brave. So I don't know that I've done much to scare her.
Well, I'm kind of a psycho, and I'm a psycho about Plexus, and I'm very one-track minded when it comes to things. So yeah, I pretty much go for a lot of things, but the bad thing about that is that when I first joined in January, I went psycho about Plexus, and I was like, blah, Plexus. And so everybody knew, like, I was sending out so many messages that little cat message would come up that said, are you a real person? You have to pick the cats or whatever. Some of you probably have seen that. So I messaged my entire Facebook, all of my Facebook people, and then I posted all the time. So that's just like the norm. And even when I'm in a rebuilding phase right now because I hit gold and I was there for a little bit of time, and then I let the ball drop and I was focused on other things that was going on in my life. And I just let it sit there for a couple months. So now I'm in the rebuilding phase as far as rebuilding my ambassadors and rebuilding my customer base and getting new people in at the same time. So to do that, I felt like I couldn't just do the regular things, and the Facebook Live is just wonderful. I ate that up of the challenges, but I started coming up with different things for myself that I could kind of lure people in and be like, because I honest to goodness feel like Plexus is a life changer. It's changed my health. I'm sure because you're on here, it's changed your health as well. So people have heard that. So they've heard me say it's life changing, blah, 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 so it's just passé now. So my team, Amy and Sherry and I came up with a Plexus similar to the Plexus 7-day challenge to get customers on board. But we are doing it for 30 days. So it was it wasn't so big of a customer base buying, you can have a lot of people buying the 7 days, but it was 30 days. So I had a few people, or like 5 people, I think, that signed up to do the 30-day challenge. And out of that and it wasn't anything that Samantha was doing. Like, Samantha does a phenomenal job. She gives prizes out galore. So for us, we weren't going to do that because it was a full 30 days. So this past month, we've been sending out prizes only on Fridays, and pretty much whoever wins. We have a couple of other people that are in the 30-day challenge with us, but between Amy and Sherry and I, whoever's customer wins the prize that Friday, that's the person that sends out the prize. So that's how that works. And we've had pretty good success so far, I think, with that. And then we're holding their hands all the way along the way. So it's like all of us are saying, doing the follow-up. All of us are saying, so how are you doing? You know, whatever, instead of just one person focused. Another thing that I did was Dawn said an example of for sending out samples. I have messaged people galore and had no response, like just crickets. Like Linda was saying, it's kind of daunting when you just get crickets at first until it's not so daunting. But so I sent out messages and just had no responses to like really good friends of mine. And I would literally write like, listen, seriously, you're not going to respond back to me. And then, you know, it's still nothing. So I get a little bit personally offended by that. So Dawn had this little example of, would you do me a favor and try a Plexus Slim sample in exchange for your honest feedback? I know you're an honest person. And I sent out 27 samples like within like a 5-day period. And some were just the 1-day taste tester, and some were the 3-day samples. But I did a lot of follow-up, which I usually wouldn't, after I send out a sample, especially if I would send out that many sample, like that's a lot, right? If I would send out that many samples to people, I would not have followed up so much with that amount. So I was crazy with follow-up. After they got it, I was like, I took a picture of the envelope. I mean, this is all based on what Dawn did, but I just had such good success with it. I took a picture of the envelope and I said, it's coming. And then in a couple of days, if I thought it would arrive, I would message them, hey, did you get it yet? Or message me when you get this. And then they would message me back. I had people sending me messages with their selfies. I said, you know, tell me when you get it. I'm going to give you how to take it, the instructions on how to take it. And then I'd say, well, I love Plexus selfies, so give me a Plexus selfie. And I had 5 or 6 people post selfies on my Facebook wall, and they got more likes from our mutual friends than I got whenever I post a Plexus selfie. And I was like, how about that? They're not really buying from it. That my mutual friends are saying, oh, okay, so Plexus is kind of cool, I guess. You know, they're trying it, so maybe I'll give it a try. I'm hoping. I don't know. Uh-huh. So the last thing I do want to share, I did a Plexus pajama party, which was just an idea that I took from Natasha and Dana. I'm just basically stealing people's idea and trying to get as many people blasted up, pumped up for Plexus. So I did a Plexus pajama party that lasted from 8 p.m. until midnight one night. And I just posted and gave people gifts if they responded. Didn't have too much success with that. So I'm going to either modify it for next time or drop it all together and move on. But I do want to show my last thing that I did this month was I made a YouTube video for a potential ambassador. This girl kept on saying, I'll meet you at this time, I'll meet you at that time, and she did not meet me. So I made an iMovie, and I'm going to share my video. I'm going to share my screen while we're doing this. And this is what's it called? Unlisted video, so only she and I could see it. And I'm going to just play it in the background. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, we can see it. Okay,
so what I did here is I'm talking, and then I show these pictures. You see I'm talking just like now, probably wearing the same dress. And there's Dawn, and so I'm giving them all, this is what your life is going to be like. And I think I'm going to start doing that and modifying it. So I tell them the Plexus Ambassador income. I tell them all the things that they're going to expect from Plexus, why it's so wonderful. And this is to the person that, you know, they've maybe tried it, they maybe have been a customer, or maybe they've just tried it and they're like, yeah, I kind of want to see what's up with this and how to be successful. So it's really neat that I can pull this, and it's just like a Zoom call, except it's one-sided, so it's just me talking. And that is it.
I think that was brilliant. Did you come up with that on your own, Miss Teresa?
I'm a music teacher, so I was in charge of the video morning announcements for my school for many years. So I was used to using iMovie, but iMovie I think it's free on your iPhones. So anybody can do that, or it's on my MacBook as well. So it's really user friendly. I'm not very computer savvy, but and the reason why I uploaded it to YouTube is because on Facebook messaging, they only let you do a couple minutes, I don't know how long really, of a video. But with the YouTube, you can have it, like that was a 12-minute long video, which is probably too long, but it gave her all the information that I would have said if we had met live for a Zoom.
I love it. I think that I've used videos before, but not in that capacity. Like so for individual videos, you know, where you're actually talking to the person because you want to get that face to face, but for whatever reason, it's not coming to fruition.
Right.
So I love it. That's really great. Let's see. There was a message. Leslie asked you, what is a Plexus pajama party, Teresa?
Okay. So a Plexus pajama party, so the way Navasha and Dana did it, they had a whole night where they dedicated to answering questions about Plexus. And it was like a, let me tell you all about this. Mine was, let me lure you in under the false pretenses of it being a pajama party where you're going to win prizes. So I was like, get your pajamas on, and I'm going to have my pajamas on, and let's just sit, and I'll throw out Plexus prizes if you watch a video, or if you, and answer, give me a response about this video, or if you tell me why you would join Plexus, tell me what's stopping you about Plexus. So just a bunch of questions and videos that they had to watch and respond to. So the more, I got this idea from Dawn too, the more that they would respond, the more people that would respond, the bigger the prize was. So I bought an extra Edge, and I bought an extra Mega X, X Factor, so I could send out to people if a lot of people did it, but I ended up just sending out samples, and then I ended up, that was it. Just Plexus Slim samples, I think, was all that I ended up sending out. That was not too successful. I think it could have been more successful. And I'm going to try to modify it somehow. So we'll see.
Yeah, we have a template, I think, on the team page of a Facebook party, maybe not exactly the same, but it's basically more informational based. So if you want to, you might not know this, guys, but on our In the Pink team page, if you go to the very top, it'll say files, and you can click there, and people have uploaded files. You can search the files there, and I'm pretty sure it's in there. I'll double check it, but I think you can find the Facebook party. So you don't have to recreate the wheel, because I know that sounds kind of scary. You're like, oh my gosh, where do I get all the information for something like that? And then there are services out there that you can actually, like template services. I think it's planmyparty.com, or I don't remember exactly. You can probably just Google it, where you can actually put all of your posts in a template and then have them timed, and so they automatically post. So there are services out there like that. If anybody knows, Tiny Torch, yeah, I know Tiny Torch does that too. There's one specifically used for Facebook parties, because there's so many now direct sales companies that use Facebook for marketing. So there's an actual site or app that you can get for it. So, you know, and the thing about anytime you do anything like that on social media, it doesn't cost you any money. It costs you a little bit of time, but that's it. So you can't really lose, right? Teresa, would you agree? I know you muted yourself now. Just, it's a learning. Even if you feel like, well, maybe I didn't get a customer and an ambassador out of it, you learn something by doing it. So never be afraid to fail, because there's really no such thing. It's just really one more place that you're learning and growing. So that's awesome. So thank you, Miss Teresa. Thank you. Now, did I have anybody else that was going to share tonight before I wrap everything up? Okay. All right, guys. How many people do we have now? Oh yeah, now we have our normal number. We had like 8 people when we started. I was wondering where everybody is. We usually have about 30. Awesome. So these were really, really great, you guys. I knew that you were going to just really be able to share some great tips, especially for people that are just getting started. Yeah, the video idea was really awesome. And I think, did all the questions get answered before I kind of close this out? I'm going to just kind of relook at the questions and make sure, because we had some really good questions. Let's see. Amy was asking about cold calls, Amy Cole contact her. Yeah. When we say that, that's just basically anybody that has never actually reached out to you. Where we're saying, I mean, you're going to have, by posting on Facebook and being consistent and putting really good information out there, people are going to come to you and they're going to message you. And that's awesome, because those are hot prospects. I mean, those are people that are really highly interested. So then your job is to really do great at following up. But when we cold message people, this is looking at our Franks list, which if that is, when we say Franks, what that means is it's just an acronym as a memory jogger. You make a list of your friends, your relatives, acquaintances, oh golly, FR, what does the N stand for, you guys? Help me out. Neighbors, kids, friends, spouse, friends. There we go. So it's a memory jogger. So you want to make a really long list, and it should be at least 100 people. I mean, honestly, I'm sure it's more than that once you really start thinking, because here's the deal. Plexus products help everybody. Nobody is really excluded from from Plexus. I mean, everybody needs to be healthier. I don't care, even the gym nut, right? Even the person that says they're the clean eater, they need a probiotic, they need a vitamin, they need a Mega X product. So really nobody is not a good person to contact. And so what you want to do is just think about everybody in your network, and then you just send out messages. And most of us use Facebook, and so Facebook Messenger is a great way to do that. You just send a really short, sweet message. Teresa shared one of the ones that I have also found to be super effective is just say, hey, this may or may not be for you, but I would love for you if you could try the Plexus Pink Drink and give me your feedback, or something along those lines. So you kind of, when you just sort of release them from the sale, and you know, it's not for you, no problem. I just want your honest feedback. Usually people are like, yeah, sure, I'll try it. Yeah, send me a sample. Great. The door has been opened, you know, you can send them maybe one sample. And if anybody has one of those cards, I love the little like 5x7 or 4x6 cards that you put a sample on. They sell them in the back office. You can also get them off Etsy. So if someone has one handy and they can pull out and kind of show it on the screen, that would be awesome. But it lists like the ingredients on one side, and then you can put one sample on there of a stick. You can do 3 if it's somebody that you really, really think would be awesome, and you really want to get them as a customer ambassador. I would do 3. If somebody's like off the charts and you want them, then I would do 7, because after a week, somebody's really gonna feel the effects of Slim and really, you know, fall in love with it. So you make that call. Again, you're the business owner, so you decide how much of an investment you kind of want to make. But 1 is fine too, because 1 at least gets it in their hands. At least they've tried it. And then what Teresa was saying, you walk them through. You don't just send it and then just hope for the best. Because guess what? People are people. And they throw it on their counter. It sits there for a few days. You're not following up. It's not important to them. And then a week goes by. Next thing you know, 2 weeks goes by and everybody's forgotten. Okay, and that's basically a $5 bill. In my opinion, it's a $5 bill sitting on their counter, and I'm not willing to give away my $5. So it's super important that when you give somebody a sample, that you really remember, okay, I'm basically handing over money, and so therefore you have an expectation, and so walk them through what Teresa said. You know, we take the picture of the envelope. I'm sending it to you. Let me know when it arrives. Little tips that you can also, you know, you say, make sure you tell me when it arrives, because I've got some tips for you. Like, make them like, oh, wait a minute, I better not take it until I let Teresa know that I have it. Like, maybe there's something special I need to know. So you don't necessarily need to send the instructions right off the bat. Keep the conversation going, you know, and the instructions are easy. It's just, okay, when you get up tomorrow morning or whatever, this afternoon, mix it in room temperature water, mix it up really good, add ice, enjoy. Another thing I like to do is set the expectation a little bit, where you say, you know, instead of asking like, how did you like it? Okay, when you ask somebody like, what did you think? If you say, what did you think, or how did you like it, you're basically opening yourself up for them to possibly be negative, right? Because they could be like, well, I mean, it was okay. I didn't really feel anything. I didn't like the taste, but whatever. So instead of doing an open-ended question where you're not in control, you want to say something like, did you notice better energy? Gosh, you know, that was something I really noticed. So you set the expectation. Did you happen to notice better sleep? A lot of people have they improved sleep after they take the Slim. Wow, did you notice that you didn't have as many sugar cravings? Were you able to say no to that Diet Coke in the afternoon? Okay. So you drive the conversation. And I mean, maybe the answer is no. And they could say, but here's what a lot of times will happen. They'll be like, oh, you know what? Now that you mention it, I did have a little more energy yesterday. Oh, you know what? I did have a really good night's sleep last night. Or they would have never thought of it otherwise unless you planted the seed and set that sort of possibility of an expectation. So be intentional about that, because you always want to make sure that the conversation that you have going with somebody about Plexus, you want to be in control of it, and you want it to be very positive. And you never want to open the door for someone to, no, it doesn't work, blah, So anyway, so that's just a few little tips on how to communicate with people. And then, and then every day, I mean, it's important. If you've given them a 3-day sample and they've said, okay, you've made it today, I love this take the selfie, because that's fun. People, a lot of people do it. You have them post the selfie of them and their pink drink on your timeline, because like Teresa said, what happens is when you do that and they tag you, your mutual friends see it. And then they're like, oh, wow, so Mary Jane from high school, wow, she's doing Plexus too. It's third-party validation. I don't know if you guys have ever had those people come to your door. I don't know, like this happens sometimes, like the door-to-door salesman, and they like sell cleaning products. And this has happened more than once, where they'll like pull out a check and say, oh, your neighbor Jane bought from me, see? And they like show Jane's name and Jane's check. And I actually fell for it one time. I was like, really? Jane's pretty cool. And Jane, she's pretty up on, the right kind of cleaning, carpet cleaner. So, well, I mean, I guess if Jane bought it, then I guess it's pretty good. Like, it worked. And I didn't even realize until after they left. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was a sales tactic they just used on me. It was third-party validation, and I totally fell for it. So anyway, not that we're trying to trick people, but that's what you're basically doing, is you're getting third-party validation from people that are not in any position to make money off of it. So it's really a great thing to do. So you want to do that. And then make sure every day, make sure that you send them a text. Don't forget to make your pink drink, just a reminder to make sure that you get them doing it consistently for 3 days. When they've done it consistently from 3 days, you want to follow up. You want to just be, right there, following up, making it super easy for them to order. That's always a question, is like, well, how often do you give out your website? I honestly, anytime I've have the conversation going and we're getting to that point, if they've tried the sample, I want to make it super easy. Here's my website. Step 1, click join. Step 2, choose a triplex. Click, and so like walk them through, because our website is overwhelming for people that have never seen it before. They're just like, what is this? And where do I go? So if you just say, oh, you can order from me, here's my website, I think it's hard for people. I think that that's overwhelming, and most people, I mean, a tech savvy person might be really successful, but most people aren't going to be, and if they get caught up or they have a question and they're doing it, then they just say, forget it, right? They'll get to a point and they don't know which button to push, and then it's too much trouble, and then they're frustrated, and then they never go back and do it again. So it's super important to make it very, very easy and walk them through it. And I just, of course, went on tangents because that's what I do. I do that very well because I get super excited and want to share all of the things. When I share all of these things, it's because I've made all these mistakes along the way and not done these things well. And so I want to save you all the trouble of making the same mistakes that I made, and hopefully help you avoid them, and so you can be super successful. So let's see, it is 9:50, so this has been a good almost 50-minute call. But I know that I want to pray before we go. And we have Kim Day, who is going into surgery tomorrow. I saw her post about that today, so I'm gonna include her in prayers. Does anybody have anything else that they want to pray for tonight? You can unmute yourself, or you can send me a chat.